Hey there, powerful soul. How are you? Welcome to my corner on these internet streets. I'm Cassandra Austin McDonald, coming to you live to share some exciting news. And so, if you are new to my corner here on these internet streets, please let me know that you are new here so I can welcome you. If you are here catching the replay, if you would type in hashtag vision, hashtag vision, let me know that you were here. Oh my gosh. I cannot make this stuff up, y'all. My camera is named Vision Tech, and I completely just seeing that, I was like, wow. Talk about divine timing. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Anyway, hashtag vision if you're watching the replay, and then if you're live, if you will let me know that you're here live, that would be amazing. And I'm going to share this over to the spaces and places that I am on here on these internet streets. And so if you're feeling generous, I'd love if you would share this. If you know anybody who is connected to you, a fellow professional and executive woman who is also a deep feeler, who loves to talk about personal growth and your vision and your dreams and creating the life, love, and legacy of your dreams. If you know anybody in your life who would be interested in this, if you could share this, I would really deeply and truly appreciate it. All right. We are shared. We are shared. This has been quite the year. This has been quite the year. And so many things I have experienced this year, all the way from the range of growing pains to the good things that I have desired to create in my life. And as I've been reflecting on the end of the year, one thing I love about this time of the year is it's such a great time for self-reflection. And it seems like the world is slowing down. And when I can feel that, in my spirit, energetically, when I can feel like this sense of slowness, stillness happening, it brings me to a place of introspective and self-reflection and just really examining where am I at? Where am I at with the things that I say that I desire to be, do, and have? Where am I at with my vision? Where am I at this year? What has happened this year? And one thing I love about Facebook is that it has the Facebook memories, and every day, if I'm on here every day, which for the most part I tend to be, I can see what I shared 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and so on and so forth. And something really cool has been happening these last couple of days with my Facebook memories. And it's really in alignment with what I want to share with you all. And it's about the inevitability of your vision. The inevitability of your vision. So for those of you who are new to me, you have never heard of me before, you have no clue who I am. I am a transformation mentor and coach. I work with professional and executive women who feel deeply to really activate that next level power in your identity so that you are creating the life, love, and legacy of your dreams your way. And the reason I like to say your way is because I believe when we have these visions, they're like these divine downloads, if you will, that God gives us, that is unique to our own sacred path. It's unique to who we have been called to be, what we have been called to do, and what has been designed for us to have an experience in our lifetime if we have the courage, the faith, the confidence, and so on and so forth to actually pursue it and to go after it. And one thing I've noticed in my own respective journey is that I have had this way of wanting to do things my way my entire life. I came out the womb wanting to do things my way. Can anybody relate to that? For those of us who are entrepreneurs, that's why we started our own businesses. We realized we had natural leadership qualities. We had a dream. We had a vision. We wanted to do our own thing in our own way, right? And that was a big reason why I got into it. I would see gaps in my former career, and my advice and my thoughts weren't really welcomed because of the environment I was in. And so I really wanted to be in a space where my leadership could thrive and I could grow and I could create something in my own way. And one thing I love about connecting with our own God-given vision is the uniqueness of it, how unique it is to us. And I remember when I was single, I was a single mom before I met the mister who is my husband, and I was starting on my sacred path, as I call it, my self-love journey, my inner healing journey, and learning about how to co-create with the creator and things to that nature. And I was starting to realize that I was wanting a relationship that looked very different than what I had both experienced with being modeled in front of me growing up, what I had already experienced in my own experiences, but also what I was noticing with people around me, whether it was other family members or friends or so on and so forth. I was noticing my own way. Like I was like, I don't want to do it that way. I don't want to do it that way. And so for a long time, I had this vision of the type of relationship that I wanted, but I had no blueprint. I had no example. I had no one modeling it for me. I literally had to create it for myself. And I've been able to do that with the mister. I remember when I realized that I had a calling on my life, and I was noticing things, noticing some people talk a lot about the trauma-informed approach, but they don't bring in the spirituality. And some people talk about spirituality, but they don't bring in the trauma-informed approach. And then the church folks don't do this, and then these people don't do that. And I was just noticing, like, where do I fit in into all this? Like, I was like, what is my way? And so I have been on this path of carving out my way. And I believe that we discover our way when we get connected with our own God-given unique vision that the Creator gives to us in stillness, in self-reflection time. And that's one thing I love about this time of year, is that we get that time of just pause for a moment, slow down for a moment, get a little bit still, and really connect within and see, like, what is my vision? Not a replica of what I've seen someone else have. Not me trying to be like someone else. Not me trying to do it like other people are doing it. Not me trying to have what other people are having. But what is my vision? What is my desire? What do I see for me in my life, in my relationships, in my career, in my success, and so on and so forth? And as I was scrolling through my memories these last couple days, it's so funny how divine timing works in my life. The people who either work with me privately or take one of my programs, Return to Her is my program where we really like dive deep into who we are and our relationship with ourselves and reclaiming our power. And there's a lot of synchronicities that women tend to experience in that program. And I can't make this stuff up when I talk about the synchronicities, because it's like without fail, the synchronicities come. Literally, I'm talking about vision, and my camera says Vision Tech. That's not something I consciously like remembered, like, oh, I'm going to do this live stream in Vision Tech. Like, it just shows up like a reminder, like, yes, you're on the right path because your vision is inevitable. And I'm scrolling through these Facebook memories. If you're tuning in, hey there, let me know that you are here. And if you could let me know who you are, where you're watching from, that would be fantastic. And then share this, please, and thank you. So I'm scrolling through Facebook memories, and some things popped up that were pretty freaking cool. And I want to share some of those things with you. I actually jotted them down so I don't forget the sequence. 8 years ago, around this time of the year, I was spending the Christmas holidays with the mister, his son, and my son. It was a really special time of the year. And what was special about that is because one thing I was really clear on when I knew that I wanted to manifest my partner, I wanted to manifest my person. I was ready. Like, I had done the inner work. I had done a lot of healing and self-love work. And I was like, I'm ready to receive whoever it is God has for me. One of the things I wrote down on the inevitable list that we be having, like, y'all know what I'm talking about. One of the things I wrote down was, they can only have one child because I only have one child. And I was like, I'll be fair. They can have one. I can have one. Because I have one, rather. And we'll have a blended family. And 8 years ago, during this time of the year, that vision came into fruition. And it was such a beautiful, beautiful time for me to spend the Christmas holiday with my new love and his son and my son, and to see the fruition of that vision manifest. It was so beautiful. And in the specificity in which it did. 6 years ago, yesterday, that showed up on my Facebook memories, I announced the launch of my trauma memoir. I remember when I said I wanted to share my story, and this is before trauma was as prevalent of a conversation that it is now. It's a really prevalent conversation now. Everyone talks about having a therapist or a life coach or both, and everyone talks about trauma, but I started talking about trauma over 10 years ago. And I remember how unpopular it was and how it was standing out like a sore thumb. And wasn't nobody really listening what I was talking about. I always been like a little trendsetter. You know, I have foresight. I can see what's happening. And I remember I wanted to write my story from the lens of the traumas I had experienced, and really just take people through a journey in my writing where they can experience some level of healing for themselves as they're reading my own story. And when I was writing this and I was sharing with people what I was doing, a lot of people told me no one wants to read about that. And that ended up being the launch of what I have been doing since then. I got so many incredible opportunities from that. I got media opportunities. I was on the front cover of a magazine in the state of Illinois, which was another vision that I had. I was invited to be a keynote speaker many times in big conferences with hundreds of people. I had a lot of incredible opportunities on the back end of that publication of my trauma memoir. And that was a vision. That was a vision that I had. 3 years ago yesterday, I was at a going away dinner with my closest girlfriends in my hometown, because the next day the mister and I were moving and relocating to the Sunshine State where we now live. That was another vision I had. I always wanted to leave Illinois and go move in the Sunshine State because I do not like the winter. I don't like the cold. This last weekend it was 30 degrees here in Florida. You would have thought it was below zero how I was acting, y'all. Like, I don't like the cold. I just don't, okay? And that was a vision. That was a vision. And it was crazy because the vision was like more than what I could have ever anticipated, because I was relocating with my husband to the place I always wanted to live. It was incredible. So that was another vision that came into fruition. 1 year ago, yesterday, I celebrated having no personal debt. And so that was incredible, because that was another vision I had. I did not like having student loans, and I had a property in Illinois that I was struggling to get rid of, and it was just a hassle. And so last year I celebrated the debt is gone. The debt is gone. So that was another vision that came into fruition. There's another vision that came into fruition this year that I have not shared yet online. Only very, very close people who know me personally or I've had conversations with behind the scenes know about this, and I will share it in the right time. But all of this to say, God has never failed me in proving to me that my vision is inevitable when I decide to become the woman who's going to do the things to bring it into fruition. That is how I have co-collaborated, co-created with the Creator to create what I have thus far. And it really came from this firm belief that my vision is inevitable if I don't give up, if I don't quit, if I keep going, if I continue to believe. And it's been proven time and time and time again. And so one thing I know to be true is that when we are a big dreamer, The struggle that we often have as big dreamers is we see the vision in our imagination. We can see it so crystal clearly. You can see the life, you can see the location, you can see the partner, you can see the success, you can see the financial freedom, you can see the whatever it is that you've been desiring. You see it in your mind's eye, you see it in your imagination. The vision is there, but then you look at your reality and you sometimes get caught up in your circumstances. And this is where you have to understand the difference between personal power and circumstantial power. Because personal power is like that, what Lisa Nichols used to call no matter what. Like no matter what, it's going to happen. Circumstantial power is I'm looking at my current reality, what I see with my physical eyes. And because I don't see what's in my mind and my imagination and my vision with my physical eyes right here, right now, I take myself out the game. And I either declare it's just not meant to be, now is not the time. And a lot of people are actually doing this right now, this time of year. You know, maybe you had some really hefty goals. You had some big visions, some big dreams that you wanted to make manifest this year. But I want to give you a perspective shift on this live stream before I share what I came here to share with you all. Maybe this was the year for you to become her so that next year when you do the things, you actually have it. Because there's a process of creation. A lot of times when we get the vision, there is a gap in our identity of who we believe we are, who we believe ourselves to be, and that often affects the action that we don't or do take to actually create it. And so this year you may notice that you may not have manifested the vision that you wanted yet. It may have not come into fruition yet. You may be questioning God and wondering, when is it gonna happen for me? But I want you to consider this. What if this was the year that you were shifting your identity, that you were shifting who you be into the woman who already has it, so that when you take the aligned action, you actualize the vision into fruition? I often say that aligned action activates actualization. Actualization in your identity, actualization in your vision, actualization in your dreams, actualization in whatever it is you've been writing and journaling about and praying for and saying each year that you want to be, do, or have. What if 2022 was the year that you were embodying the identity? And what if 2023 is the year that you actually execute the vision? Consider that before you take yourself out, because the year's not over yet. And I think it's important to go into the new year with a perspective shift so that you're going in there with this beautiful, aligned, confident, self-assured, certain place within yourself, so that when you're taking the action to create your vision, it's from this beautifully aligned place. You're in your power. You're feeling empowered. So what I want to share with you all is the Inevitable Vision 2023 workshop. I'm really excited about this. I did a vision workshop. I used to call it Visioneering, and I did this, was it last year and the year before? And then this year I didn't do it because of some things that had come up. But I said, you know what? I want to do this because it's so important. It's so necessary to start the year with the clear vision. And so we're going to do some amazing work inside of the Inevitable Vision 2023 workshop. We're going to discover the subconscious thoughts, beliefs, patterns, and habits required to create your vision. We are going to elevate your mindset to activate your belief in the inevitability of your vision coming into fruition. We're going to have some self-reflection time so you get that crystal clear clarity of what exactly is your vision. We're going to tap into your big vision for 2023 during this Visioneer workshop, as I call it. We're going to activate your personal power to execute your 2023 vision. And we're also going to create a digital vision board so that you remain inspired and disciplined all year long. So we need both. We need both. We want to feel inspired when we're taking the aligned action, but you have to be disciplined in the aligned action. And I know there's a lot of people that are talking about feminine energetics and lean back and you ain't got to do nothing. No, we need both. You need to be right internally with your mindset, with your energy, with your beliefs, and you have to take aligned action. The sacred scripture says faith without works is dead. And so this is what I see happening. I see people doing one or two things, jacking the scripture up. They either have the faith and they're not taking no action, or they taking action and they ain't got no faith. It's the faith with the work. This is what we're going to work on inside of the Inevitable Vision 2023 workshop. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to share with you all some secrets that I learned. I used to work inside of one of Bob Proctor's programs a couple of years ago, and that's actually what inspired this workshop when I first created it, because one of his consultants, when I was in his program, I'll never forget this. It was something I needed to hear back then, but I didn't want to hear it, but it was one of those things I needed to hear. I will never forget this as long as I live. I was sharing my vision, my big, beautiful vision. And she told me, you need to grow into the person who can not just manifest that vision, but also maintain it. And I often talk about in my work the importance of not just manifesting what you desire, but maintaining it. So many people mismanage their manifestations. And that's why we see things either like relationships fall apart, or people self-sabotage once they reach a certain amount of success, or they start making a lot of money and they start sabotaging, or, that's when all that stuff shows up, because your identity didn't grow with you, with the action. And so we want to do both. We want to grow as a person as we are taking the aligned action to create our vision. So I'm going to share some things inside of there that set me free as a woman that feels deeply, that there is a secret weapon we have as deep fillers when it comes to creating our vision. And I'm really excited about sharing that with you all. And we're going to have a really good time. So it's going to be held on Saturday, January 21st, 2023. And so a few weeks away. So you have time to get it on your calendar. It's on a Saturday. We're going to start at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I recommend slotting out a few hours. And right now, the pricing is at only $44. So that's like easy peasy, no brainer, right? Like, grab it, boom, bam, thank you, ma'am, you're done. I can't guarantee general admission will remain $44, but right now, it's $44. I will give a 24-hour notice of a price increase if I decide to increase the price, but right now it's $44. And that gives you general admission to attend the workshop. So you can be a participant of the workshop and access the amazing training and workshops and information and all the cool things I'm going to share inside of there, so that you are activating your power, getting deeply connected to your 2023 vision, and we can just take off and do that thing. I'm excited. I am looking forward to this because I know that I have manifested the most beautiful visions in my life. And I know that the women that I have worked with, either privately or in group programs, they have manifested beautiful visions in their lives as a result of the work that I teach inside of Inevitable Vision. And so if you know this is for you, there's a link inside of the comments for you to join us. And if you have questions, feel free to private message me. If you know anyone inside of your community or anyone that you know of who would be interested in attending this with you, please share this with them. The more the merrier, and I would love to have you there. So I'm looking at my notes to make sure I did not miss anything. I think that's it. And I forgot to, I said I was going to start the live stream and I forgot. I forgot to blow my little 2023 horn. So let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. Time is of the essence. I believe 2023 is going to be a beautiful year for visions, for us visionaries, for us dreamers. I feel like this year, a lot of us worked on our identity, who we be. Next year, we're going to combine who we be with what we do so that we actually have what it is we desire. That's the process of creation. It's so simple. We're the ones that complicate it as humans, but it is that simple. So thank you for being here, whether you're live or catching the replay. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and private message me. My private message is open, and looking forward to seeing some of you inside of Inevitable Vision on January 21st, 2023. All right, take care.